This Void Hunter build makes you a tethering god. With this build, updated for Season of Defiance, with the new Lightfall build crafting system, you'll be able to generate hundreds of orbs of power per activity. You're going to get your super as fast as just 7 seconds if you're using it in the right situation, and not only that, you can generate roughly 3 supers per minute as long as you have ads around consistently so that you can actually tether them. Now, a few weeks ago, I covered a similar build, but instead we used the Gyrfalcons and 6 Coyote as a mixed variant build, which was good for both infinite invisibility and volatile rounds, but with this build, we can still achieve the same thing effectively while actually making it even better. So we're going to get faster supers using the Orpheus Rig exotic and a bunch of mods. We're going to get infinite invisibility, infinite volatile rounds, infinite devour, which then means we'll get instant max health on every single kill, as well as getting our grenade back really fast because of that devour effect. And the crazy part about this build is that every time we get just 1 kill while all these buffs are active, we'll refresh our health instantly while going invisible at the same time. So we're just unkillable with this thing, and it's an extremely powerful build. Now, do you want your characters to feel more powerful and look more beautiful? Then check out my new partner Apex Gaming PCs. I've got my own custom line of powerful PCs available that will guarantee you play flawlessly with maximum quality and performance. Whether you want a light build, a darkness build, or you want to go all out god mode, then Apex has got your back using some of the best and latest components available regardless of your budget. And on top of this, they also have finance options available so you don't have to pay all at once. You can also use my code DIVIDE for up to $250 off your next purchase. See my link and discount code below. You're welcome. Now, Void Hunters have some of the best builds in the entire game, but there's also a bunch of other builds that are just as good, which is why if you like this build and you want to see more top builds for Destiny 2 Lightfall, then be sure to check out my new Season 20 build playlist, which you can find linked down below, because you might just find your new best build. But today, we're rocking the Void subclass on the Hunter as a fast supers build. Now there's 2 of 3 supers that you can use for this build, which are the Moebius Quiver and the Deadfall. Now for this build, we're going to be specialising in the Shadow Shot Deadfall, because this thing got buffed a while back, and now lasts a stupidly long time. So it lasts 12 seconds initially, but you can extend that duration up to 25 seconds by killing ads that are tethered. This is good because the tether is going to provide us with 2 benefits. Our first one being the weaken, which will debuff enemies by 30%, and then the second effect being suppression, which will stun overload champions and just in general suppress everything nearby, so they pretty much can't do anything. Now, a quick example of how this build will work is you'll first start by using your tether super on a bunch of ads, and then throwing a grenade at them right afterwards. This will get you around 75% of your super energy straight back, depending on the amount of ads that are tethered, but after that, you'll use your void weapons and abilities to generate orbs and void breaches. This will give you devour, volatile rounds, and invis on every single kill, while you have volatile rounds active. And then after that, you'll just go about your day as usual, killing everything, getting grenade kills for extra super energy, and so on. At least in easy content. Now for a master activity or a Grandmaster Nightfall, you're going to play it a little different, like this Master Lost Sector here, while underpowered. So you're still going to use your tether and grenade when the time is right, as well as killing ads with your void weapons, spawning and picking up orbs and breaches, but you're also going to do this at a slower pace. So when it comes to dealing with champions and bosses, you might not have all the buffs active to maintain that consistency. So make sure you ideally have a grenade charge and dodge ready so that you can reactivate those buffs later on. And if you're using this build the way it should be used, then you're going to master this build in no time and make endgame content easy mode. Now the tether on its own isn't going to produce much super energy, which is why we're using the Orpheus Rig exotic leg armor, because what this does is provide us with ability energy for each target tethered by Deadfall and gives Moebius Quiver an additional shot. So using this, we'll be able to get up to half of that super energy straight back, and depending on the amount of ads around, whether they're minors, majors, and however many there are, you can get that super back insanely fast, which is going to be our primary goal for this build. But if you don't have Orpheus Rig, then your alternatives are going to be Graviton Forfeit, the 6 Coyote, Omnioculus, Gyrfalcons, or the Frostees. But using these, you won't be getting faster supers, and I did cover a build that works for most of these exotics more effectively, which you can find in the playlist down below for the other void build. So for this build specifically, we're using the Orpheus Rig for that extra super energy. Now with this build, there are 2 void aspects that are going to let you dominate, and those are the Stylish Executioner and Vanishing Step. Now the Stylish Executioner will make you invisible when you defeat a weakened, suppressed, or volatile target, whereas the Vanishing Step will make you invisible when dodging. So we have 2 sources of going invisible. Now Stylish Executioner requires us to defeat debuff targets, that being by either a weaken, suppression, or using volatile rounds, so we'll need to apply those debuffs to enemies, and our main one we're going to apply is the volatile. The way we'll get volatile rounds will be by one of our artifact perks, Volatile Flow. This will give our void weapons volatile rounds when we pick up an orb of power, so make sure you have some sort of void weapon on. I prefer the funnel web, great weapon for fast ad clearing, but if you're going into GMs or like really rough content, then the Doom Scout is a good choice for more longer range fights, but any void weapon will do the trick anyway. Now we've got a void weapon covered, we're going to need an orb. So we got two ways of getting these. The first one is by the harmonic or void cipher mod, which will generate an orb of power on rapid void weapon final blows. We'll also generate them by the firepower mod in the arms with grenade final blows, as well as our reaper mod when using our class ability and then getting a weapon kill. So we have so many ways to get these orbs to get those volatile rounds. Now because we're using the Echo of Starvation void fragment, we'll also get devour when we pick up those orbs or breaches. Now bear in mind that devour is going to grant us instant max health on kills, as well as giving us grenade energy, which therefore means infinite grenades. And because we're getting grenade kills, we'll generate the orbs, then we'll pick up the orbs and get devour again if we ever run out of time. So it's just a continuous loop of the orbs, devour and grenades, and those grenades and orbs we generate are actually going to give us even more benefits, which we'll get to shortly. Now I'm also using Echo of Cessation, mostly so that defeating volatile targets will create a void breach. This is just to help us get more class ability energy so that we can have our dodge for essentially infinite invis too, which is always handy, but also as an extra source to get devour if for some reason we don't make orbs, which I mean, come on, it's unlikely, but there's always a chance. Otherwise we'll have the Echo of Reprisal fragment for extra super energy when getting kills while surrounded, which is useful since we're a super build anyway. And then the fourth and final fragment is Echo of Dilation. You don't actually need this on, but I am just using it so it gives me a +10 to the mobility stat, which is so that I can achieve tier 10 mobility for that quicker class ability cooldown. And that's the same with Discipline too, tier 10 Discipline, so again we have the quicker cooldown for our grenade. This will be useful a lot more in harder content, where we might not always have Devour active to get that grenade back in seconds, because playing master content while underpowered, you might be a little slower and inconsistent with maintaining the Devour buff, but if you can get a kill every 5 to 10 seconds, then you should be fine. Now as for the grenade, we're going to be using the Vortex grenade. This actually works really well with the Tether, because the Tether is going to pull ads in, right? And then throwing a grenade is also going to pull them in again, which basically clears up for us. And all those ads dying from the grenade while tethered is going to give us an insane amount of super energy, which is not only because of Orpheus Rig, but also because of the mod Ashes to Assets. Now I have two of these mods slotted on in the helmet, which will give us more super energy on grenade final blows, and because earlier I mentioned that we're running the firepower mod, it will generate orbs, and those orbs that we pick up will give us armor charge stacks, and we're going to use those stacks on the grenade kickstart mod. I have two of these mods on as well, which will consume the armor charge stacks and give us grenade energy in return, just for throwing a grenade. So this paired with Devour and 100 Discipline is going to give us that grenade back insanely fast. Now I'm also running a few cooldown mods. We have one Innovation, which reduces our grenade cooldown when we pick up an orb, and two Installation mods, which will reduce our class ability cooldown. And then in the class armor, we have two Bomber mods to reduce the grenade cooldown when using our class. So again, it's just looping between those two abilities, because the three main things we want with this build are faster supers, faster grenades, and faster invis through our class ability, as that class ability dodge is our backup, our last resort if we need to go invis for any reason. Now this here is the artifact setup if you want to directly copy it. The main thing you only really need here is volatile flow, but for the mod setup, this is the mod customization screen. Again, feel free to copy it, but there will be a dim link down below for you guys anyway. But honestly guys, give this build a try because it does a fantastic job and is by far one of the best builds in the game right now if you want faster supers, and it just allows you to easily complete any PvE activity in the game. So guys, give this build a try, and don't forget to check out the season 20 build playlist down below if you got a sec, and I'll catch you awesome peeps in the next build. Peace out guys.